Hi guys, so I'm Leanne. I'm here with our assistants from our Blue Tit salons today. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be going through a blunt bob, working with no elevation, no tension, cutting in a square line, and then I'm going to talk you through my step-by-steps as we go through the haircut. We're going to be working a one length bob, so we're going to use no elevation, no tension, no over direction, and keeping the hair into natural fall. With April's hair, it is pretty straight already. So what we do want to do is make sure that we're using minimal tension on the hair. We don't need to control the movement within the hair. What we're gonna do is be cutting a lot of it inside the comb. I need to kind of really think about head positioning, where my sections sit in, how I'm gonna mirror my sections to my cutting line. We wanna have the same length at the back to at the front. Now, April explained that her hair seems to always drop a little bit heavier towards that back area. So what we need to really focus on is making sure that that doesn't grow out as heavy. Two options we could have gone for is working a little bit of internal layering and having a little bit of like a softness underneath, so the weight is a little bit more balanced from the front to the back. Or, which is the option we're actually going for, is just bringing the back up just literally like a centimetre shorter than the rest of it. Visually, it will still look the same length from the front to the back, but it will just give you that little bit more control over the hair. When it grows, it doesn't drop as heavy throughout that back area. Okay, so centre parting all the way through to the centre back, down to the nape. And we're going to work horizontal sections. Horizontal sections help us build weight. Obviously we're working a square shape, so I want to mirror my cutting line to my sections. I've noticed it is a little bit jumpy throughout this area here towards like the crown area. So maybe the choice of which side on the comb I use might change slightly. The higher up I go, probably we'll use the slightly wider side. But we're gonna work horizontal sections, and then we're gonna keep the head position down, realistically, all the way up to around like the occipital bone. And so we're just curving out slightly lower towards the side of the neck, keeping it slightly shorter in the middle, and ever so slightly dropping that down. Now, if you have the head position tilted down and you do something that sits completely square, you can see it takes off that kind of corner slightly. When the head position comes up, so does your angle, yeah? So instead of creating something square, you would end up creating something that sits a little bit more rounded. So when the head position is down, you curve your section. When the head position comes up, you'll be left with something that sits a little bit more squarer, okay? Now that's the same if you're gonna go work triangular. You're going to then need to make it look even more curved, so when it comes up it doesn't sit square, it still has a little drop towards the edges. You basically want to follow the shape of the neck all the way round and become square here, but we just don't want it to come round and sit higher throughout here. So my first section, we're just working with a 1 finger tension. Not putting too much pressure on the hair, and the higher up I go, I start working in between the comb. Can you see that the previous section, can you see it shorter here and slightly longer in the centre? Now when obviously we explained that it looks slightly heavier towards the back, exactly what we were saying about keeping that curved so you don't round up the corners, I think that's probably what's happened in the previous haircut, yeah? And that's where it's becoming a little bit more baggier towards the back. So we just need to make sure that we're keeping that complete square shape, so when the head's down, you keep that slight little curvature. And you want to make sure that you mirror your sections to your cutting line. So however your section looks, that is going to then match in with the cutting line. Slight little tap above so it doesn't feel like I'm elevating the hair, keeping that on a lower part towards the neck, but just making sure I'm making that little curve towards the edge. Right, so mirroring each section, very, very repetitive, all the way through to the top of the head until we get to the ears. I'm leaving anything that sits over the ears to work on the sides. And as we start working up, the head position is going to be coming up straighter and straighter at some point. So just an ever so slight tap on top using the small side of the comb, mirroring my section, angling my cutting line down slightly on the corners. Working up to the crown area, staying behind the ear. Anything that naturally slightly sits in front of or on top of the ear, I'm going to keep that for when we work onto the sides. Really look at how your hair or your client's hair is naturally sitting. When you're working something blunt and one length, if you force the hair, say for example, the hair that sits over to this side, if you force that back here, when you dry it and it naturally sits on the side, all that's going to do is sit shorter. Yeah, it's going to jump up and you won't see like a really clean blunt finish. So it's really, this haircut is more important than realistically any other haircut to watch where you're pulling natural fall to. Now obviously you can see that we're just about to take like an inch off, which is our target goal. We know that where we wanted to sit is sitting around the chin area, but we know we've taken more off in certain areas throughout the back because you can see that the different kind of angles kind of drop down in certain placements. Now obviously we've got the ear area that is a concern, yeah? What some people would do is tap above the ear, yeah? For me, personally, that doesn't work. It's one of those things that when you are controlling around the ear area, you end up getting these little holes in the hair, yeah? And that is because the hair is naturally elevated because of the ear, and it will spring up if you put tension on it. Bearing in mind, we're not working any tension, realistically, a small amount of tension. We're just gonna keep the head position up straight, tilt over to the side. Working just a little bit of a tension dry. So you're using the side of the brush, so using your best brush and then locking that into the hair, locking it in, stretching it down. See this jumpy area that we spoke about that I said potentially could sit back here? Doesn't, yeah? It sits over to that side area, it naturally grows out there. But that hair, if I had forced that back, would sit shorter and jump up in certain areas throughout the side. Little recap on what we've done. Obviously it is a very classic haircut, working horizontal sections because horizontal sections help us build weight. We've then worked a square shape, so as we're cutting with the head position down, we're keeping more of like a little curved angle so it maintains our corners when the head position comes up, yeah? Repeated that all the way through to the top, watching growth patterns, everything cut into natural fall, no tension, no elevation and no over direction. And then working into the side areas, we've come through and then again worked more horizontal sections and then working completely freehand because of the ears, yeah? If the ear sits expanded and you need to use a little bit of tension, then you would need to elevate the hair so where it skims the top of the ear, where it is naturally already elevated. If not, if the texture allows you to, which is what we've done today, is we've worked completely freehand and we've just worked out all the way through the front to the top. We've used Oway products, used Glossy Nectar and Finest Fluid, which is a leave-in conditioner and an oil-based product to add shine. We've gone for a wrap drying technique with a little bit of tension dry and finished with the straighteners. And then working in more refining, so I've changed to a smaller pair of scissors. That's a little bit more narrower through the top area. And then we've just worked in at a slight angle and just kind of pointed straight across, not pointed into the hair. And that just gives you that clean cut. Yeah, so I hope you like it, guys. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. If you want to like and subscribe, and you'll be able to follow all the rest of our demos.